Many of the greatest things taking place today for the gospel are happening in places that are not easy or well-traveled.
Today's guest started ministering to a small group of children in Thailand and are now reaching many nations with the gospel all over Southeast Asia.
Al and Terry Purvis will share their story about a humble beginning to the great things God is doing through them today.
Find out more on LifeLine Today.
Welcome to the program today. We're glad you've tuned in. It's going to be an encouraging program for you. I know you're going to hear some great testimony of a ministry that's doing wonderful things. But let me just remind you, the phones are open through the program and you can call at any time. Also, let me remind you that we are so thankful for those of you that partner with us. It is absolutely well, it's the fuel in our gas tank, of course, but it's just a blessing to us. And we really do pray and care about you very, very much. Welcome to the program, Al and Terry Purvis.
Welcome, good friends. Good to have you back again.
Good to be with you guys.
You are the apostolic leaders, the founders of, we call it World Mission Continuum or Victory Asia, and a ministry in all Southeast Asia.
Yeah, across the nations.
In many nations, That's awesome. But we're also friends. I mean, how far back do we go? It's a long time, I know.
Oh, I don't know. We shouldn't talk about that, you know. It's a long time, that's for sure. Been a tremendous friendship and really, mutual encouragement. We need to walk together in parallel in so many things.
It's the early 80s, wasn't it? And then you did move with your entire family to our church at one point in time and put them in our Christian school. And it was a wonderful relationship and a wonderful experience.
Yeah, really, really.
And I should mention, Joan, that their daughter Becky, who we'll talk about probably in the interview here, but her daughter Becky worked for us. She was your producer.
She was, and she was amazing, amazing producer.
This is when we did 24-hour Christian television. She is, let me just say, this woman is the most amazing woman. You are blessed.
She's got the reins now, you know.
Yeah, she sure does.
And running with it.
That's amazing.
Okay, so you started out, Al and Terry, in 1982. You left Canada, you went to Thailand with your 3 little kids at that time, because Esther was born in Thailand, to start a home for orphan children. And really that, that project or that thing that you were doing, that ministry, carried on for several years. And then all of a sudden it started to expand and you started reaching out into other nations. Now we can put up a map of the nations that you're involved in today on the screen, and it's over 10 nations. And just tell us a little bit about the scope of what you're doing today. Look at the map. My goodness, you've gone from Thailand all over Southeast Asia.
Yeah, amazing. Begins in Thailand and branched out, and it was really through starting the Bible college once our kids grew up. And they needed more to do, and so we started to train them as leaders, you know. Well, they can become of age,
There's brilliant plans that come out of something like that.
And so then God just opened up the doors. It was a tremendous time of really grace of the Lord, you know, that just connected us with the right people and drew people from the nations to Thailand because of what they saw in our family, and then released those back into the nations again, and they've planted churches in 10, 11 nations.
I want to go right back, because this does lead into this, what we're talking about, but I know the stories that you've told that when you first went with Terry and you to Thailand, totally green.
Yes, absolutely.
You knew nothing.
No, it was a first for many things. We'd never lived in a city before. We were country people. Never taken a taxi, ridden on a bus, ridden on a train, anything like that. Like it was, and landed in a city of 14 million people.
You're talking about culture shock to the maximum.
It was something else. So a lot of learning. And I think too, you know, like you say, Joan, that first segment or season with the kids, and then suddenly that was the season of God teaching us how to be parents. Really, particularly the kids that weren't just our own, right? But to be able to draw them in.
You should just say the kids that you really took into your children's home were refugees, weren't they?
Yeah. It was the end of the Vietnam War then. And so these kids were in refugee camps.
And they were abandoned.
Most of the parents were killed during the war.
Wow, so they were orphans.
And Terry, that must have been a job.
It was interesting, but my little redheads helped.
your little redheads, and then you had one more little redhead.
Children,
Yeah.
But that's the foundation of this ministry.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think also, if I could say another aspect of the ministry that you learned was how to walk in faith and believe God. Because there were many times, Terry, where I know that because we supported you way back then, our church supported you, there were many times when things were so lean. And, Terry and Al would just believe God.
Yeah.
And, that carried over also. You raised a family, but that, what you learned about faith has also carried over into you going into the nations, has it not?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to raise leaders who can walk in faith, you have to raise them in that circumstance, right? Where we're believing God together for a meal here. We're believing God together for whatever
That's a very good point.
Yeah. You're not going to raise any real strong leaders by handing them everything.
No.
And just saying, okay, there you go. It's going to be fun. Have fun. It's not really fun sometimes, is it?
No, but what comes out of it is so rewarding, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the multiplication right now is what is so amazing. And you're really like the parents now.
Yeah, some of them call us grandparents, but we, we see ourselves as the parents. And that's really our role at this point, in this season, is to be there to encourage and that kind of stuff. I mean, we're in Canada now, and because of the COVID thing, we've been here for 4 or 5 months now. And that's not normal for us.
No, it isn't.
But yet things are carrying on very well without us. And
let's just talk about some of the struggles and the things that you've dealt with COVID, because you are in so many nations. Are the borders closed? Just tell us a little bit about the struggles that you've had with the whole COVID pandemic.
Yeah, everything closed down like instantly, suddenly, and without any regard for business. We're seeing that everywhere in the world, right?
It's
There's
sort of
no
similar
regard
here.
to the decisions that are made.
Part of that is the proximity to China. Is that possible?
Probably not.
No,
not where we're at. No. Maybe it would be in the Philippines and Myanmar, some of those places. But so it just throws everything into turmoil.
Yeah.
Where suddenly the schools are shut down. You got no more income. The kids that you've been ministering to can't come. Parents are frustrated. Financial challenges because of everything being shut down.
Yeah.
And you can't pay your staff anymore. And then, now the big news this past week is that the government is making it impossible. They're demanding that any foreign staff, which we have about a dozen of them, leave the country to get new visas, but make it impossible for them to come back. So we've suddenly lost 12 of our 11 or 12 of our full-time staff.
Would these be Canadians?
No, these are mostly Filipinos and Burmese.
Oh my!
And school starts.
These would be the leaders you've raised up.
Yeah, they're the teachers and the leaders. Yeah, we just lost the administrator for our Bible college, so we're it now.
So school starts in September.
Yeah,
that's right. So are you talking about school like grades 1 to 12, or are you talking about post-secondary or Bible college?
We have several nurseries, kindergartens, and we are up to grade 4 now in our school.
And those are already open.
Yes.
They've opened just
so
recently.
You are opening your schools.
Yeah.
And the kids are coming.
That's it.
They're going to do well.
Yeah.
They are going to do very well.
So now we got no teachers. That's just a minor thing.
Yeah.
Even your Bible college program is shifting, right? Because you can't gather them.
No. We have people coming from, it's an international Bible college, so we hope that they come from all over the world. We have a number from Canada, in the Western world, and then a lot from the Asian countries, and they all study together in Thailand. And that
and you're
can't
making
happen.
Leaders.
Yeah, we're making leaders there, absolutely. That's where we've had, the success in opening these nations.
Yeah,
exactly. A guy from Pakistan comes and spends a couple of years with us, gets a hold of the vision, and then we support him in Pakistan to plant churches, that kind of thing.
We have a short video that highlights the ministry. So since we're talking about it, we should probably show the viewers.
Highlights the Bible college ministry.
This is the Bible college, yeah.
You can't get this anywhere else. Victory Asia is a platform of ministry with tracks that stretch across Asia and around the world. Victory Asia Bible College functions on this platform, and your training happens in active apostolic ministry. You'll be mentored on the front lines of the Great Commission by leaders who have successfully opened up many nations of Asia to training disciples and planting churches. We have the best lineup of teachers, men and women of great exploits come from around the world to teach you the secrets of their success. But you won't be stuck in a classroom. Most of our time is spent in mentorship electives like media production, worship arts, children's ministry, leadership training, planting churches, and going into the jungles of northern Thailand. And if you're doing a bachelor's in missions, you'll do 2 6-week assignments as a missionary into other nations of Asia. But this is certainly not for everybody. This is leadership training on an international level that will connect you with your Great Commission destiny. We ride elephants.
And you ride elephants.
The tagline for the Bible College, we ride elephants. You know, the Jeep that you saw in the video frequently, and that you built that.
That's right, it's a World War II Jeep.
It's a world, and well, it's not anymore.
No, not anymore. It's a jungle machine, I'll tell you.
And it goes into the high country there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this must be a great challenge, though, because what we saw was students coming from all over Southeast Asia and from around the world. Some were from Canada, whatever. None of that can happen this time.
No.
So you've told us that you're starting your Bible college this fall virtually. Just talk to us about that and how that's going to work.
The foundation of it is what we've been learning through this whole COVID thing. And that is, first of all, you need to care about people. If you care about people and forget the self-preservation, God comes through with creative ideas that we can launch and do things even more above and beyond what we thought, right, or prayed, right? And then having the courage to carry some of these things out. And that's why we see so many miracles, financial miracles and those kind of things across the nations of Asia, ideas that have come. And so with the Bible College, we're determined that we are going to have an online experience that is as powerful as if you were really there. And there's ways that we can do that. A tremendous amount of work for us now, especially that we've lost most of our staff. But you know, this is the way it works, isn't it? When you hit a wall, that's when leaders stand up, rise up, and you push through and you find a creative idea and that kind of thing. So we're doing our courses, be 2 hours online every morning, and in another hour where the students will either be together on a Zoom call or in an actual classroom somewhere in the deep parts of Asia, and being mentored and that kind of thing. And I'll talk to them often. And so we're looking forward to being back together physically in January, hopefully.
Oh, that would be good, because I was going to ask you, like, where do they get the practical aspect of what you're doing? And if you can say it's coming in January.
Exactly, we're trying to keep that out in front of them.
Yes.
Wow.
Wonderful. You've also done some really interesting things, and I think this is so key because, you know, if you're going to be an apostolic couple like you guys are, you have to really be inventive. You have to be a thinker. You have to know how to do a lot of things. You were telling Dick and me about a story about one of your churches where they were in the midst of building their building and they needed to get the roof on, but you couldn't go.
The finances dried up as well for them.
Oh, wow.
And but these are guys that are graduates from our Bible school in Thailand. They happen to be in Myanmar, which is a challenging country.
Or Burma.
Burma, And but because we train them in so many, you know, trades and those kind of things. And we had one of our pastors last year take a welder and a cutting machine into them so that they could build bunk beds and that kind of thing. So they were well equipped.
Through the border, he took
through
it.
the border, across the border.
Because you can't just bring everything across, right?
No,
there's restrictions.
Not easily.
So,
you know, corrupt people look for stuff like that, right? But these guys, and it's not so much, you know, that we've taught them how to weld and do brickwork and all that kind of stuff, which we do in Thailand. But it's, we teach them that there's always a solution.
There's always a way.
There's always a way through this thing. So they got stopped halfway through their building project, and this man, John Albert, who's one of our sons, he just rallied the oldest kids in his children's home, who are now 14, 15. And he said, we're going to learn how to weld. You know, I'm going to teach you how to weld now. And they finished these buildings, two of these buildings with 2 roofs on, actually. Yeah, yes, young boys, We've had to do that in Thailand too, just gather the family and get to work.
But that's part of we make leaders,
right? Isn't it? Yeah.
You absolutely have to love this. It's really, we're living in a world where, everyone has an idea, a preconceived idea has to be done by professionals.
Right.
They've forgotten that most of the world was built by
It's so true, isn't it?
Innovative people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's where professional came from.
Yeah.
It was guys like us just trying.
Somebody had a thought.
In this sense, Al, I really do relate to you because doing the things we've done have been apostolic in nature, opening the airwaves in Canada and so on. And what you do find is that you find absolutely blockages at various points in time. Well, this is it. It's over. You can't do a thing.
Yeah.
And you have to be innovative. You have to be creative. You have to seek God and get an answer. And then what I've discovered is if you just do something, you frustrate the enemy because he thinks you got you stopped.
That's right.
And then you win.
Yeah, that's right. And the other thing it does is it attracts people who have their sense of destiny type people.
Yes, it does.
You see, there's a guy who's doing something.
Yeah.
I'm going to go help him, right?
That looks like fun.
Yeah,
and they find out it's not all fun, but it is fun.
That's right.
Well, you do something called 7 weeks in Asia. We should. I know that's probably not happening at this moment
it's kind
because
of
of
COVID.
Yeah. But it's a pretty interesting experience. You take these young people, don't you?
Yeah, from Canada mostly, and for 7 weeks, and we go through a bunch of countries, usually 3 countries or whatever, broken up in 7 segments where we teach them different things. And they get to practice praying for the sick and preaching the gospel to the unreached and all that kind of stuff and helping children's homes. And it's basically an on-ramp because one of the challenges with the International Bible College is you can look at a promo like that and most young people in Canada will say, well, I could never do that. Well, let's try it for 7 weeks and see if you can do it, right? And then hopefully get a taste for it.
Yeah.
So we really push them to continue on in the Bible college. Right?
Oh, for
But don't you take them up into the mountains?
Oh, yeah.
In the jungle?
Jungle, camping,
we do the whole,
that Jeep's a part
trip.
of it?
That sure is, yeah. They get to walk behind the Jeep.
And Terry, do you go up with them as well?
I do.
I think I know you do because I've seen it on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
It's amazing.
It's always better with her there too,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is really amazing, though, Terry, because there's a lot of women that just probably wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, you know what? They probably could if they wanted to.
Well, that's true, yeah.
They got to have that heart.
We ride elephants.
Yeah.
I went,
I've never pictured Joan on an elephant yet, so I'm just saying.
We might get you there yet.
They're amazing creatures.
You might. But one last thing we want to talk to you before we take a break and then pray for our people is that, this has been well over 30 years that you went to Thailand and then you've got this apostolic ministry all over Southeast Asia. But at this season in your life, you are in the process of passing the baton to your daughter and son-in-law, Matt and Becky.
Right.
And I see you here a lot more relaxed, and they are doing a fantastic job. Just talk to us about how you feel about that and what's going on.
Well, this is always a process. It doesn't happen suddenly or overnight. Right. And we've been working on it. In fact, we actually have an annual conference like you guys do here with your Dominion Conference where we measure, actually sit down and measure where we are on the succession process. And that's fun too, because then people that the leaders that you're making realize that they are actually holding that baton now and they're willing to rise up. And so we never thought that we would live this long, honestly, because of the stress and the strain on the ministry, right?
I mean,
those you guys have been through those seasons. And then but now I'm glad you noticed that we look more relaxed.
I told you that last time I saw you. I said, you look relaxed. And you said, I feel better.
And it's a lot of, load off because it's not just Matt and Becky, but we've got some of our adopted kids as well, and then others that have come in. A tremendous team of leaders there, church planters and that kind of thing. And the interesting thing is, we can do what we're doing because all of the people in the ministry that we've raised up see themselves as brothers and sisters.
Yeah, and
not
your
just
mother
as peers.
and daughter, father and son.
That's right, exactly right. That's just key of all keys. That really is to passing on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, because we know
great.
Becky very well, because she worked for us for a period of time now, that's a while back. but we released her when she had to go to your ministry, but oh, that wasn't easy. I want to tell you, it wasn't
because you were her mom and dad, and we knew how we would have felt.
But Joan, you mentioned how they look relaxed. I got to add this, and is that we were so happy that we were the first to see a project that Al and Terry worked on through the entire quarantine of the COVID time. That you rebuilt a car that you two were in when you were married.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
A 1929 Dodge.
Yes, I bought it when I was 18 years old, and we've driven it all our lives off and on. Well, we drove it when we moved here with all those kids from Thailand.
Yeah.
And so just, it was a good COVID project, right? Where you just got some time.
It's almost like full circle, though. That's what I see.
But you just,
too,
you know,
the first trip you came down here.
Yeah.
And I was really blessed by that, but I was overwhelmed by the car. It's just phenomenal. You see a picture of it on screen, but it had absolutely, totally rebuilt, 350 engine in it and all this business. I was just like, I was in awe. I asked you about the taillights, and you said, yeah, I built those. I'm like, oh, man.
And that's who you are, and we appreciate that so much.
Resourceful. That's awesome. Yeah, very resourceful. We're going to come back and talk to them and maybe pray for you as well. But I want you to have hope for the season that's ahead. God can use anybody at any time if they're willing, just willing to go through the process, willing to take the risk. And they're a good example of that. And look at the fruit today, abounding forever and ever. We'll be right back.
Canada needs a fresh move of God, and you can help by partnering financially with LifeLine Today with Dick and Joan and the breakthrough anointing that's on this ministry. All monthly donors join our unique group of faithful partners, and in appreciation, Dick and Joan will send you a special DVD. In it, Dick and Joan share their hearts and vision for Canada and take time to pray powerfully over you. In addition, we will send you this year's special partner fridge magnet, a reminder that you stand together with Dick and Joan for Canada. Partner at $50 a month and also receive this leather-bound journal entitled Sacred Time, Sacred Place. This journal will bring greater intimacy to your daily time with the Lord. Faith-filled partners giving $100 a month will also receive this elegant journal Bible, personally signed with a note of encouragement from Joan. Your tax-deductible donation will empower this ministry to release the prophetic voice of God across our nation. Call today and say yes to becoming a partner with Dick and Joan. Phone 403-942-0123 or email info@dickandjoan.com today.
Every week here in the prayer center, we have a long list of people to pray for who have some kind of terminal illness, cancer, Lou Gehrig's, rheumatoid arthritis, you name it, the list goes on and on. But I want to draw your attention today to a scripture in Jeremiah 30:17. In the Message Bible, it says this: "As for you," God says, "I'll come with healing, curing the incurable." There might be nothing that doctors can do, but there's nothing that God cannot do. Perhaps you find yourself in an impossible situation today. So we want you to call us here in the prayer center, because we are believing together for miracles, and we'll stand in faith with you for your miracle. So give us a call right now, 403-942-0123.
You know, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're an apostolic leader like this precious couple here, or whether you're someone at home that spends time praying or giving or doing other things. It's all important to God. And you know what? He'll hear your prayer and He'll answer your prayer. That's why we have those prayer lines for you. That's why you can connect. God is good. And I always say this all the time.
All the time.
So He is, and He will be good to you. Man, we're just really enjoying our... Of course, we've walked with you through many decades of this, so we do appreciate it.
Alan, Terry, what is the most exciting thing to you right now in this season?
Well, I think the whole COVID thing has released a seriousness on people as far as setting priorities, resetting priorities.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And we're seeing, like, for example, in Sircha, our hometown, we had an international church and a Thai national church.
Yeah.
Maddie is the international pastor, and our son, Suang, is the pastor of the national church. And during COVID, they decided to amalgamate their churches and come out of there with flying colors, you know. So we had two churches that were, you know, struggling to reach 100 or whatever. They came together on the first Sunday, and there's 150 people there.
Wow.
Well, it's shaken something in the city, but not just that, but the momentum in that, let's do something together that we've never done together before.
Okay.
And I think we're breaking the devil's back in that spirit of unity that we're seeing, new unity, because it does become a new priority, or a refreshed priority, the unity that we're going to walk in. And we're seeing that release tremendous momentum all across Asia. Guys are doing stuff they've never done before because they've decided to be more committed than they ever were before.
Yeah. And you did say, just a few minutes ago, he said, your momentum that you have will determine where you're going.
Yeah, it really speaks to your future,
doesn't
it?
That's really good, because there are a lot of people maybe who are saying when I said that, well, I don't even know if I have a momentum. But you know what? God can get you tied in with something. How can people tie in with your ministry and become partners? Because I know that you do have a partnership.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's on the website, victoryasia.com is the way to connect with us. But I think too that there's a lot of things that people can receive in that partnership. You know, the podcasts and the teachings and all that kind of stuff, and you know, the worship music that's coming out of Asia. I mean, they've got tremendous worship band and all
tremendous praise and worship coming out of those nations. It's really inspiring.
And that's all available on, or you can connect to it through that website and see what God's doing, as well as the Bible school, 7 Weeks in Asia. It's all right there. So and then, you know, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Terry Purvis, because we're putting out little videos all the time, just encouraging reports of the things that are coming out of Asia.
Yeah, you have some really interesting ones too. You're just quite a character that way. You know, the ones that you, even with your car, you did a collage, a video that was edited together. It was really interesting.
People like those.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I personally like those too.
Yeah, I like them too.
They're not necessarily my devotionals, but I do really like them. You know, they are awesome. Actually, you're very resourceful, and I really admire that. And I wish I could be more like that, but.
But there's so much opportunity right now, isn't there, to minister? I mean, we're looking at a great harvest coming in, you know, and so the doors are opening everywhere, and the harvest is going to be coming in, and it's going to be like it was, only 100 times more, like it was when we all got saved in the Jesus People movement and the charismatic movement. You wait till you see what comes in.
Well, thank you, Alan and Terry.
Our viewers can be a part of that.
Thank you, Alan and Terry, for being a part of the program today. And I do really want to encourage our viewers to really connect with you and partner with you. I mean, if you're looking and want to sow into missions, this is a mission. They don't waste money. They make it go miles and miles, or kilometers.
True blue mission.
And and the true apostolic and the family connection. These are things I think are high priorities in this season. Amen. So I really do encourage you to support that. Thank you for being a part of the program today. Remember, our prayer lines are open. We certainly have people standing by to pray for you and look after you in this season. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
This program is supported by viewers like you, and we thank you for partnering with us. We want to hear from you. Send us your prayer requests, praise reports, and comments about the program. To watch past episodes, learn about the ministry, or contact us, visit our website at dickandjoan.com. You can also find us on Facebook at LifeLine Today with Dick and Joan, and on our YouTube channel, Dick and Joan TV.